Thank you,
Thank
Gavin
you.
Klosterman.
There we go. Hey, it's Pam and Renee again. Pam and Renee Untamed with another podcast. We don't know how to work the music, so we're gonna figure that out though. There we go.
Now we did.
Okay, Pam and Renee Untamed with another podcast for you. As you know, we're realtors here in Maryland. And we like to keep our podcast sort of centric around the DIY ideas. So DIY. Apparently our music was DIY too. So here we are. And today's topic is going to be how to remove wallpaper from drywall. We know that we show houses all the time that, people love the house, but they don't like the wallpaper. And so we've done a little research here, and we noted that we have an article here about how to remove wallpaper from drywall. We're using drywall because that seems to be the most common at this point. If you need to know how to remove it from plaster, you can call us or reach out to us by email, but we'll give you the email address later in the podcast. But, we probably don't know. We'd probably have to research it anyway.
I think we would. Most of the housing that we deal with is drywall.
Most of it's drywall.
That's where our field of expertise is, in drywall.
Drywall.
Yeah.
But we can be experts in whatever you'd like. So we found an article that says that whether you just moved into a new house or lived there for years, gaudy or faded old wallpaper is often a source of minor but constant irritation. I know it's really irritating to me when that's Pam's phone. She's figuring out how to turn it off. Wallpaper removal, they say, is never easy, but removing it from drywall is especially challenging since you can't get it wet for long or poke holes in it. Now, I'm not sure why you can't poke holes in it if you're going to take it off anyway, but...
Well, I think it's hard to poke holes in it because it's stuck to the wall so tight.
And you don't want to poke holes in the drywall. That is definitely true.
There you go.
So, thankfully, we have a few tips for how to remove wallpaper from drywall that make the removal process go more smoothly. And it's always a good idea to remove the old wallpaper before applying new wallpaper or a coat of paint.
For sure. It doesn't work out if you do it the other way. No shortcuts here.
No shortcuts. So, according to this article, the exact process for stripping wallpaper off drywall depends on the type of wallpaper. Newer wallpapers are often strippable, does not mean that you can take your clothes off.
Right.
Nor that you can hang them naked.
Well, we don't know.
Maybe.
We don't know. Yeah.
If you're okay with that, we're okay with that. But if it's strippable, it means that you can remove both the top layer of wallpaper and the backing using only manual methods. Which is kind of funny anyway.
All right, then.
Yeah. For peelable wallpaper, you have to use chemicals or other products to loosen the adhesive, which is one way of saying that, the newer wallpapers go on with the intent that you're going to take them off.
That's true.
Older wallpapers, they thought they were going to stay there forever.
And they did try putting on several layers. I've seen homes with about 4 or 5 layers, which is not a good thing.
That is very,
we really
very true.
don't want that to be happening.
Nope. So we are now looking at removing wallpaper from the drywall, the DIY way. So it says before starting to remove wallpaper from sheetrock, that's drywall. Right?
Drywall. That's professional talk, drywall.
Yeah. Sheetrock.
Yeah.
And sheet is spelled SHEET, not SHIT or anything like that. It's not shitrock, it's sheetrock.
Sheetrock.
Okay, follow our tips for preparing the room to make the chore of clean up drywall dust and old paper easier when you're finished with the job. After peeling and scraping the outer wallpaper layer, you have different options for stripping wallpaper off drywall and cleaning any remaining paste on the wall.
The paste on the wall is really a pain.
That is the bad stuff. Okay, so now we're to the part about preparation for removing wallpaper from drywall. You thought this was all one strip. I got strip on the mind, apparently.
You do.
Okay, so if you've been wondering how to remove the wallpaper from drywall, which clearly you've been wondering, because otherwise why would they be tuning in?
Yeah, that's exactly right. You would not be listening to this.
Why would you
Continue listening?
Continue listening, because we think this is what you want to do. The first step, maybe you just wanted to laugh at us.
That could be true.
Could be true.
They'll find that out.
We're pretty funny too.
Yeah.
All right. So the first step is to remove anything hanging on the walls. I love this.
If you weren't smart enough to figure that out,
Yeah.
this includes things like picture frames,
Picture frames, lamps,
Well, if you have a lamp on the wall, okay. Light switch, outlet covers,
Yeah.
vent covers, those should all come off first.
Take those off first.
Yes.
And here's the next part that I find really amazing. Be sure that you take out any nails and screws, because you don't want to leave nails and screws in there, because if you're pulling off the wallpaper and those things come out, they're going to pop you right in the eye.
Come flying right out.
Right out. Tape nails and screws to the appropriate items so that you don't get confused later. They must have known that it was us. Okay. So you want to take the screws and the nails and tape them to the things that you took off the wall, in case you want to put those things back on the wall with the same nails and screws.
Well, I will tell you, a good example of that is a switch plate cover or the vent, because you want the same screws because they fit and you'll have them ready to go. You know, you can tape them right to the switch plate cover.
Right to the switch plate cover. And it also says to get sticky dots off the walls. Do you have sticky dots on your walls?
Oh, no, but they also say as well as any decals.
Yeah.
So maybe you have wallpaper in a child's room and they
decals over it. Yeah, maybe. Or if they put sticky dots on it.
Whatever. Yes.
Whatever. It also says here, this is quite interesting. Move all furniture to a different room or place it in the center of the room. No duh.
It's hard to strip wallpaper behind the piano. You know what I'm saying? You got to get it out of the way.
Oh, gosh.
Move it over.
I can just see us now standing on the piano.
You go.
Unless you plan to use the piano to stand on to reach the high places with the wallpaper, but that's not good for your piano.
No, nor for you.
No, nor for you. We could probably do another segment sometime about what not to stand on in your house when you're fixing things, and the piano would be one of them.
That would be one of them. Okay. Probably the number one.
Probably. Cover the remaining furniture items with tarps or plastic sheets. Okay. So that's so we don't make a mess. Use a drop cloth to protect the baseboard and floor from water and falling wallpaper paste. I kind of hate when my wallpaper paste falls.
If you get it yucky enough, it's going to drip down and fall.
And it's sticky.
Yeah.
It says here that if you're going to be employing a wallpaper steamer, they don't mean the man, they mean a steamer. Cover the outlets with painter's tape. This is a good idea because you don't want to put water in your outlets because then you're going to get electrocuted.
Do not steam your outlet.
Every time I take wallpaper off, I'm always afraid I'm going to end up with my hair standing straight up when I stick,
It probably would.
Okay. So the next step here, if you are ready, is how to remove the top layer of wallpaper. This method is the first step for most strategies for stripping wallpaper off drywall.
Okay.
The first step for most strategies. Some strategies don't involve this step, but we'll get to that later. If you're lucky enough to have strippable wallpaper, this whole thing is starting to sound like a dancing club with naked women.
Maybe.
Strippable wallpaper. It's possible to remove your wallpaper using this method alone.
But see, you probably don't know. If this is a new house, you've just bought it and it has wallpaper, you're not going to know strippable or non.
True that.
Got to get working on it.
But yeah, you can sometimes tell if you try to get a corner of the wallpaper and try to pull a little corner up. If the top layer comes off and there's still a backing on the wall, then that means it is strippable.
You think?
I think. Because this is the top layer of wallpaper.
All right. We'll see.
We'll see. So it says start by finding a loose area of wallpaper.
Okay,
such as near an outlet or in a corner. When removing vinyl wallpaper from drywall, pull the paper away from the wall with the help of a utility knife. Now, if it's not vinyl, I don't know what that means.
Okay, well, maybe we'll learn here. Let's just keep going.
Okay. Once you have a good grip on the wallpaper, tug it toward you slowly and steadily. You may be able to remove a whole sheet at once, or you may need to pull it off in stages. So I can tell you, my experience
is very unlikely.
Don't be thinking the whole sheet's going to come off, because it's not. What you're hoping is that the part that comes off is more than 1 square by 1 square. 1 inch by 1 inch, because otherwise you're going to be there all day.
Yeah. Well, but we will say this. If you are fortunate enough that you could get one whole piece off, let us know.
Please do. And you can reach us, by the way, in case you need to reach us. We're Pam and Renee Untamed. And this is a segment of Let's Talk About It. I don't know if I said that at the beginning. I forgot. But anyway, you can reach us at our email, which is pnr.untamed@gmail.com. So if you get a whole strip of wallpaper off your wall at one time, call us, let us know. We'll hire you out.
Email us.
Email us. Email us at that number. I forgot. You can't call us. Just email us. That's pnr.untamed@gmail.com. Okay, now that you know how to reach us, so you may get the whole piece off. If not, you're going to have to keep working at it. And it apparently this is the easy part, because then the next stage here is removing the wallpaper backing. In most cases, it says after peeling off the outer wallpaper layer, you're confronted with backing that is stuck to the wall with adhesive. This is my experience. Okay, this is where it gets tough. It suggests here that you wet a sponge with the hottest water that you can handle while wearing rubber gloves, and you rub the sponge on the backing. Now, this is the part that you have to do in sections, because you're going to try this backing, hopefully, is going to absorb this water, and it's going to go through the backing to the drywall.
Right.
Is that?
Yes. Just to the drywall.
Just to the drywall.
We don't want to saturate the whole drywall.
No, because then you have a whole nother problem called mold. We'll get to that in another episode. With drywall in particular, work in small sections, because it says that the drywall should not be wet more than 15 minutes at a time. So you're going to put this wet sponge with hot water in your rubber gloves on the drywall, and you're going to just moisten the drywall and keep putting it on there until, well, you're moistening the backing to the wallpaper, until it's wet enough to come off.
Exactly.
And it says that once the backing is soft, you can carefully scrape it off with a putty knife with round, flexible edges.
That is very important, because you're working with wet backing, and the drywall is right there. So if you had a putty knife with sharp corners, you could gouge your drywall.
Right.
And then you're going to have a whole new problem. You got to fill those before you can wallpaper over top.
Right.
So use the rounded edge.
So use a rounded edge putty knife and start working the scraping away at the backing. This is a time-consuming thing. So if you figure that drywall shouldn't be wet for more than 15 minutes at a time, you're going to be working in small sections of the room to get all of the backing off.
Exactly.
Hence why you didn't leave the furniture, because it would be covered in wet, sticky drywall. Wallpaper backing.
Right.
It would be gross.
Right.
So, all right. Now, this is another approach to how to remove the wallpaper from the drywall. And this approach requires special wallpaper removing fabric sheets. And these are available by online order. So,
of course,
you have to Google special wallpaper removing fabric sheets. And if that's too big, just put wallpaper removing fabric sheets. I don't know why it's only online. We don't know whether places like home improvement places would sell it.
I would assume they might, but we're not sure about that. So
yeah. So you take these sheets and you soak them in a bucket of hot water to help them stick to the wall.
Right. So
first you've peeled off the outer layer of the wallpaper as much as possible.
Right.
And then actually, I've done this with not even being able to get the outer layer off. I've just started wetting the wallpaper. But you don't want to wet the whole room.
There's a lot of patience.
Don't bring the hose in from outside and squirt the wall.
Not a good plan.
Not a good plan.
It's not hot anyway.
No, it's not hot water.
No.
Okay, so after peeling off as much wallpaper as you can, you use a scoring tool or coarse sandpaper to punch small holes in the paper, which lets the stripper access the wall glue. Last time I hired a stripper and she got a hold of the wallpaper glue.
It was all over.
It was all over it, man.
But I will tell you that I have done this. You can get little tools that you run over the wall and put little holes in it. So hopefully that stripper stuff goes in there. That's the scoring tool they're talking about.
Right. And you can use that scoring tool or coarse sandpaper. Even if you just sandpaper the wallpaper, it takes off enough of the surface that it gets porous enough that it lets the water get in. So then you're supposed to take these sheets of wallpaper removing fabric sheets that you're soaking in a bucket of hot water. Hopefully the water is still hot. And you're going to wring the sheets and stick them on the wallpaper, right, starting in a corner.
So you don't want them too drippy. You got to wring them out a little bit.
Wring them out and stick them onto the wall. And the sheet's edges should touch but not overlap.
And you maybe should start in a corner.
Yeah, that's what it says. Starting in a corner.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Very smart.
I knew some of my stuff, yeah.
Yeah, she's really smart, Pam is.
That's it.
Okay, she's the smart one. The sheet's edges should touch but not overlap, and you spray the wall with the wallpaper stripper. Okay. Where did you get the wallpaper stripper? Because it says, where do we get the stripper from? Have stripper will remove one. I don't know. It says.
What's the stripper access? I guess.
I don't know. The sheets must have. This must come with wallpaper stripper using a spray bottle or compression sprayer. Now, I read another article. The compression sprayer may not be a good idea unless you know what you're doing.
Yeah, that's too much spray.
Yeah. I read that a lot of professionals use a compression sprayer, but I have visions of this thing spraying all over the room.
Well, if you lose control, it could be bad.
Could be really bad.
Losing control is usually bad.
Every time I've lost control of a stripper, it's been a mess. You got to run around, find the stripper, rope her in, get me in, whatever. You got to get them strapped down, the whole thing. It becomes very messy. So you want to use this, spray the wall with the wallpaper stripper using a spray bottle or compression sprayer. Leave the wallpaper soaking for 30 minutes because it says that these wallpaper removing fabric sheets are protecting the drywall from water damage. So you're going to put these sheets on there and you're going to spray the wall and then you're going to leave it soaking for 30 minutes since the sheets are protecting the drywall from water damage. Then, then you remove the sheets from the wall, starting with the first sheet that you applied. Because if you start with the last sheet, you didn't leave it on for 30 minutes. Sorry, yeah. Okay, got that? I would probably do this in a section of your room at a time.
Yeah. It's very strange because last time we were doing something, 15 minutes wet was it. This one you can soak.
Now you can soak your wall for 30 minutes.
Okay, well, that's because you got stripper stuff.
You got strippers protecting the wall.
That's right.
Line those strippers up right in front of the wall.
They're going to protect it.
Yeah. Male, female, male, female. You should, go every other one. And, pretty soon you'll have most of the neighborhood in there helping you with that wallpaper. That's the way that works. Right. Hire the strippers. Neighbors, right? Right. One or more wallpaper layers should peel off with each sheet. Mm-hmm. Place them back in the water. Oh, these are reusable.
Yeah.
Now I got this. Place reusable strippers. I love it. Place them back in the hot water to reuse for other sections of the wallpaper. So you are doing this with one section at a time. So you don't need as many strippers as I thought you did.
No, you don't.
No.
And but you do need fresh hot water to keep it hot.
That's what keeps the strippers hot.
That's it.
We want our strippers to be hot.
You got it. Gotta have.
I always hire hot strippers.
You do. I've heard that. I've heard it.
I go online and I say I'm looking for hot strippers.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, so then you just keep repeating this over and over in each section of your room, and make sure that things are not so wet that they're dripping onto the floor. Make sure you've covered any carpeting that's in there.
You have to have
that nice covering.
Drop cloth, they said, to put it down along the baseboard, too.
My problem with the drop cloth is whenever I put the drop cloth down, that's what I slip on.
Oh, yeah. If it's wet, they're slippery.
Be careful. Okay, so now we have another option here. You can strip the wallpaper off drywall with a wallpaper steamer. So we have strippers and steamers.
Right. So far, that's
what we got. So weakening wallpaper adhesive, which is what you're trying to do to remove the wallpaper. So another option for this is renting a wallpaper steamer from a home improvement store.
Okay.
Heat also makes an effective vinyl decal remover and is instrumental in getting candle wax off walls. When did we start getting candle wax off the
I'm
walls?
not so sure about this. The only thing that comes to my mind is perhaps you had some sconces,
Oh, and you were burning candles?
maybe. I don't know. That's the only
How
thing.
old is this house they just bought?
That's the only thing that wants to come in my mind.
Somehow I'm envisioning homeowners carrying around these things. They take the sconce off, the part of the sconce that holds the candle off the wall, and they walk
Now
around the house
stripping
and
on the walls.
and they walk around with the candle, and that way you can see the strippers. No,
I don't think so.
you don't think so?
Okay, go ahead.
So heat makes an effective vinyl decal remover and is instrumental in getting candle wax off of walls.
Oof.
Good to know. This is great information. Pay attention here. Consult the steamer's instruction manual.
But first,
Remove as much wallpaper manually as possible. You know, this all goes back to you got to remove the wallpaper with your hands
I think
as much
so.
as you can.
Yeah.
And then after you've removed as much as you can, then you hold the steamer against the paper surface, the paper that's left on the wall, not the paper that you've taken down.
Exactly.
For 10 to 20 seconds to loosen it. Now, this next sentence is pretty funny. It says to start with the wallpaper closest to the ceiling to let the hot water drip down. Have you ever seen hot water drip up?
No, it usually has to be up to come down. That's it.
Okay.
That's all it can do.
And one thing that you should know here is that bubbles in the wallpaper tell you that the steamer is working.
That's a good thing.
That's a good thing. Bubbles in the wallpaper.
When you're putting it up, no bubbles.
No.
But taking it down, it's a good thing.
Bubbles are good because that means that the wallpaper is coming away from the wall.
All right, then.
You can pop those bubbles and start peeling the wallpaper. So once you have the top layer of wallpaper removed, use a utility knife or scoring tool to put holes in small sections of the backing.
Okay.
And this step allows the steam to get beneath the wallpaper.
All right.
But you don't want too much steam beneath the wallpaper, and you don't want any big holes because then we're going to deal with mud.
That's right.
I mean mold, not mud. We don't have any mud. Okay. Use a putty knife to scrape and peel away the wallpaper backing. Repeat the steaming, scoring, and scraping. Steaming, scoring, and scraping with your stripper and other sections.
3 S's.
That's the 3 S's. Steaming, scoring, and scraping. And if you add the stripper, it's the 4th S. Okay. Not only is this remedy ideal for wallpaper, here you go. This is like duct tape, 1001 uses, right? But it makes removing a stubborn wallpaper border easier and is a great way to remove paneling glue from drywall. Paneling glue. So we haven't done our podcast on how to remove paneling.
No.
But it's good to know that behind that paneling there is glue.
Well, yeah, in most cases, that's how they hold it up there.
Yeah, and if you just remember to buy the wallpaper, the steaming thing, it makes removing wallpaper border easier and removes paneling glue from the drywall.
Ugh.
Okay, there is one other way to remove. Steam has all kinds of home uses. There you go. Like I said, it's just like duct tape. 1001 uses for steam.
That's what they say.
There you go. Just to heat up your stripper, whatever you need to use.
Oh, fabric softener.
Fabric softener. That is the other way to remove unwanted wallpaper. So the liquid form of fabric softener is a useful ingredient for removing wallpaper glue from walls or to get the glue off plaster walls. So if you do have plaster walls,
this is an idea.
Mm-hmm. It says to combine equal parts of liquid fabric softener and warm water in a spray bottle. Then use your scoring tool. You are going to do this. This is like the real DIY. This is the spray bottles in one hand and the scoring tool is in the other hand. And it's go spray, score, spray, score, spray, score.
Easy for you to say.
And if you can say that 3 times, email us. Okay, so you're going to spray a section of wallpaper with fabric softener that's combined equal parts, fabric softener and warm water. You're going to spray the section of the wallpaper, let it sit for several minutes, and then use a paint scraper to peel off the paper.
Okay.
Repeat these steps for the other areas until you uncover the entire wall. All right. Try fabric softener for removing painted wallpaper from drywall.
Ooh.
Painted wallpaper from drywall.
This is when the last person that owned the house didn't want to go through the removing of the wallpaper,
God, they
so they
painted the
painted
wallpaper.
over it.
Ooh, and
not an easy thing.
you may find the process a little easier if you do this with the fabric softener.
Easier than very, very difficult, I guess, right?
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. And here is another suggestion. If you're not completely fed up now and haven't hired a professional by now, and you're still listening to us, you can use the fabric softener with dish soap, and it loosens stubborn wallpaper. I don't know. When I hang wallpaper, the first thing I ask is, "Hi, are you stubborn?
Are you stubborn or not?" Because if you're not stubborn, we're not putting you. We don't want it falling off.
Yeah. What's your sign? If you're a Taurus, then you are too stubborn and you are not going on my wall.
That's it.
I know. I got family members like that. Okay. So fabric softener and dish soap are effective at loosening stubborn wallpaper adhesive and often work as a homemade drywall stain remover at the same time. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, but
me neither.
It's good
so
to know.
If you mix the fabric softener and the dish soap, you mix them to achieve a powerful combination that's great homemade wallpaper remover solution.
Woo!
That is a mouthful. So it says for removing wallpaper glue as well as the wallpaper, combine the fabric softener, dish soap, and water in a spray bottle or compression sprayer. Like I said, I'd be careful with that.
A wild compression sprayer.
Yeah. Woo! Yeah. Then remove as much wallpaper as possible. Spray a portion of the wallpaper backing and then let it sit for a few minutes. Pull the backing away from the wall with the scraper, then move on to the next bit of wallpaper. So again, like I said, this is scraper bottle.
That's it.
That's how that works. Yeah. We did find this recipe for homemade wallpaper remover. So if you have your pen and paper ready, and you can write this down, you use 1 tablespoon of liquid fabric softener.
All right.
1 tablespoon of dish soap.
Okay.
So far, I don't see us removing much wallpaper. 1 cup of warm water, a spray bottle or compression sprayer, and a scraper.
There you go.
So it's a tablespoon of dish soap, a tablespoon of fabric softener to every cup of warm water.
Got it.
And so you might want to mix up quite a bit and put it in the spray bottle. So
try and keep it warm now.
Yeah, try and keep it warm.
That's the hard part.
That's the hard part. So now you have successfully removed the wallpaper and you want to clean and repair after taking it off the drywall. So, you know what? It says here that once you remove your wallpaper, you may feel like sitting back and calling it a day. I'm with you. Grab a beer, sit down, look at your work, admire your work, tell the stripper they can go home. And now it's time to get down to business because it's essential to thoroughly clean and fill the drywall before applying any new wallpaper. I don't know why anybody would apply new wallpaper after this.
Or pulling out the paintbrush. That sounds like the plan. That's the plan right there.
If you are in the unfortunate situation of having removed wallpaper from drywall that was not primed and sealed, look for a water-based sealer for damaged drywall. And I'm sure you can find that online. You know, Amazon has everything. But if not, you could go to your local home improvement store and ask for help.
Or paint store, probably.
Right. So you're looking for water-based sealer for damaged drywall. And before applying the sealer, make sure you sand any loose wallpaper off the wall.
Yes.
Because you wouldn't want to paint over it and have lumps and say, oh, don't worry about that. It's just a little texture from the unremoved wallpaper. Okay. And it says here, to remove paste that's stuck on the wall, use either a putty knife or gel wallpaper stripper. Oh, don't let the stripper go yet.
That's right.
Never mind. Call the stripper back.
It has to be a
gel wallpaper stripper along with a scraper.
Right.
Remove remaining adhesive with a sponge soaked in hot water and allow the wall to dry for at least 24 hours. Wow. That's really important.
I guess you're getting it pretty wet.
Yeah, and you don't want to put paint on a wet wall.
No, that doesn't dry well.
No, and it thins the paint.
Yes.
It does recommend that you patch small holes and gouges, because by now, hopefully you have not gouged your eyes out.
That's right.
Because that's a big gouge. With spackle and larger ones with joint compound. So you got to patch holes and make sure you have some joint compound and some spackle. Once the wall filler is dry, finish the job by sandpapering, vacuuming, or dusting, and wiping with a damp cloth.
There you go. That's great.
So I'm sure you're wondering now, what tools you really need for removing the wallpaper from drywall. And it says here that you can find stuff that you either maybe have at home or things that you can buy at a home improvement store.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to need a drop cloth and tarps or
Sure.
plastic sheets,
All right.
painter's tape if you're employing a wallpaper steamer,
Mm-hmm.
okay, because you're going to want to make sure that you get over those open. You've taken the switch plate covers off the switch plates, and so you want to make sure you've covered all of that. And it says if you're to keep yourself safe, make sure you use rubber gloves and safety goggles.
Yes. I can understand the theory of the goggles.
I can too.
I don't happen to have any
either, and I have removed
But,
wallpaper without goggles.
I have too.
So, but you might want goggles.
I mean, to be on the safe side.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead.
We just are giving you the best of everything.
That's right.
Basic supplies include dish sponges, clean cloth, sandpaper, a bucket, and a spray bottle. More specialized items, you need a snap blade utility knife. Now, the snap blade part is really important. You don't want to leave the blade sticking out when you put the knife down.
No.
Bad
Not a good
idea.
Yeah.
Bad idea.
Dangerous.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
So be sure you put the blade away.
Even your goggles don't help you with that.
No. Unless you're wearing them on your feet.
There you go.
Okay. More specialized, okay, a snap blade utility knife, a putty knife, a scoring tool, and a paint scraper. And it says here that any other requirements depend on your chosen wallpaper removal approach.
Mm-hmm.
If you plan to just go in and rip the shit off the wall, then you don't need all these tools. For example, you may need a wallpaper steamer or a wallpaper removal sheets. Again, this depends on the approach that you're going to use to get the wallpaper off the wall.
Mm-hmm.
There is a little bit in this article that talks about the side effects of chemical wallpaper stripper.
Yeah.
This is why I always buy a real stripper, not a chemical wallpaper stripper.
Maybe
Although
that's where your goggles would come in. So you don't want to get that stuff in your eyes.
absolutely not. Although a chemical wallpaper stripper is relatively safe to use, it's best to exercise caution.
Sure.
Right? Okay. So you want to avoid contact between the wallpaper stripper and your skin or eyes, since it may cause, there's the eye goggles,
Yep.
since it may cause skin irritation and is likely to cause eye pain or irritation.
Well, you don't want it, so get the goggles
Get
out.
the goggles.
Mm-hmm.
Wear rubber gloves if you have sensitive skin.
Well, see, maybe for us, when we did it before, we didn't use a stripper thing. We used water.
Yeah.
So we were okay with no goggles.
No goggles.
Okay, yeah.
Wear rubber gloves if you have sensitive skin or expect to use the stripper repeatedly. She's going to get really tired. Give her a break, though, or him. Give them a break, all right? Wash your hands immediately if it gets on your skin, and swap out clothing if the chemical spills on it. Once again, here it says wear goggles if there's a chance of eye contact. Don't make eye contact with your stripper. Whatever you do, do not make eye contact.
That's the rule, right?
Yeah. Do not make eye contact with your stripper.
All right.
If you do, you're going to have to give her like a single or something, $1 or something. If any gets in your eyes, rinse them with water for at least 15 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So if you prefer not to use a chemical, other options include, as we talked about, a sponge with hot water or a wallpaper steamer. Alternatively, combine equal parts of vinegar and warm water in a spray bottle. Here's a whole new thing.
You can make salad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Your whole room will smell like vinegar. After you let a section of wallpaper backing soak for 12 minutes or so, remove the backing with a scraper. This is if you're using the vinegar and warm water, equal parts in a spray bottle.
This is the 12-minute solution.
Right. Among wall coverings, wallpaper has its advantages. It comes in different patterns, covers wall defects, some types are long-lasting, and many are washable. So, on the other hand, it can be more expensive than paint, and its edges may start to come loose, especially if it's been up there since like the 1800s. And it's a pain to install and remove. For all of these reasons, wallpapering is one of those DIY projects that many people put off starting. With both drywall and plaster walls, this procrastination is understandable. But
they usually only put it off after they started.
Exactly.
This is not for them.
This is not for me.
No.
However, we do hope, Pam and Renee Untamed, we do hope that our tips for how to remove wallpaper from drywall leave you feeling empowered to tackle a wallpaper project. I feel empowered. Do you feel empowered?
I do.
I feel empowered enough to hire a stripper.
Or maybe somebody to move the wallpaper.
Yeah. So you can always share these wallpaper removal tips with your friends on Facebook and Pinterest if you want to. But you also can, if any of this seems the least bit confusing to you, or you would like help, or you know anybody that's looking to buy or sell a home in Maryland.
That's right. Yeah.
We hope that you'll reach out to Pam and Renee Untamed. Again, you can reach us at our email, which is pnr.untamed@gmail.com. And we hope to hear from you soon.
Yeah, we do.
We'll be posting another episode of Pam and Renee Untamed. Let's talk about it in the future. So stay tuned.
Ciao.
Bye.